Tezzeret is such a cool card. I keep giving it a few more chances. All right, welcome back, Vintage Gamers, to another Wednesday evening stream where we are playing with our favorite flop, Tezzeret, Coral Captain. I've been having a lot of fun on Twitter and on YouTube in the thumbnails with this one. But yeah, Tezzeret, strong magic card, but not seemingly a game changer in the vintage metagame right now. But it doesn't mean we shouldn't keep trying. One of the things I was discussing in the Discord was Tezzeret has some interesting utility in finding Expedition Map, and Expedition Map making sure you get your Academy as much as possible. I was also thinking about trying to get like a very heavy island shell in the same style as the old Fanoop PO decks of 2023, 2022. I didn't actually, it doesn't look like it really ended up exactly where I wanted to be for that. For that deck, you get like 5-6 islands and a bunch of fetch lands. Here, I wanted to see maybe if we could use the power of Expedition Map a little more to, you know, search up some cool things. So maybe this is a bad way to take the deck, but we have to try it to find out. Obviously, we can just cut all of these like cool, cute lands and play a bunch more islands and fetches and have a more Fanoop style deck. But for now, we're going to try to max out our Tezzerets in a PO deck, but we're not going to try to use workshops here. We're going to use some amount of Ancient Tombs. I started at 4, then I went back to 2. Don't know exactly. I'm going to start with 2 Ancient Tombs and 2 Monolith and move us a little bit closer to those like all-in combo-oriented decks, but not be fully there. I'd like to still try to be, you know, casting blue spells. You don't want to go full Jewel, that kind of thing. Because once you're at like 4 Monoliths and 4 Tombs, like then you should just be playing Jewels, right? So we got that going for us. We have a bit of more of a Tezzeret toolbox. We're going to be pretty Tezzeret oriented in this deck to see how it fares as a more focal point of the deck. So I do have the Vexing Bauble, a Soul Guide Lantern, a top and needle, and a key. I am going to try to use this Tezzeret. Another thing that we've been talking about is Tezzeret is a really good Black Lotus tutor. And maybe it'd be interesting to use Tezzeret to find Black Lotus more often. So I'm going to splash a Yawgmoth's Will in this deck off of no Underground Seas. I do have a Talon Gates technically makes black mana, and I have different artifacts that make black mana. But the main thing I would expect to do with Yawgmoth's Will is to do Tezzeret things. Getting Black Lotus and then casting Yawgmoth. The other thing that Tezzeret getting Black Lotus lets you do is play a couple double blue pips that we haven't seen a while in Vintage. So I have a Narset here and an Urza. Both of these are very strong Vintage level cards, but it's been quite a while since we've seen them. Blue is prohibitive casting cost. If we can use our Tezzeret and Grim Monoliths to accelerate out of an Urza on turn 1 before we get like Null Rotted and Collector Roofed and that kind of thing, then that could be a way to play around that kind of game. I'm still going to include Tinker and Citadel, and of course Tinker for other targets. I have some interesting cards in the sideboard here to try out. We do have obviously a pile of Jewel and Jewel adjacent hate, a pile of mono white removal. I have the Tinker targets. I have a Tormod Script is my only remaining extra anti-graveyard card, as I'm going to play the Lantern and the Needle in the main. Obviously, I need to make sure I take these cards out when I do play against decks that they're not good against. But that does make our sideboard, gives us a lot of room in our sideboard to put other cards. I have a Strip Mine here to go with our Expedition Map package. I felt like it would make a lot of sense to be able to bring in Strip Mine. And then I have 2 classic Fanoop style Karn Scion of Urzas as an additional way to kind of grind out the game versus these Collector Oof Null Rod style decks. We played against a Frog deck and a Bug deck on the last video. So I want to have maybe some quick deployable large threats. I want to see if these Karns can help us in the matchups that I think this deck is these kind of decks are bad against, which is the fair blue decks that are trying to restrict you by restricting your mana. So that's what we're gonna try today. Yeah, should be fun. Map Tezzeret, somewhat of a Fanoop style. I'll see you in round 1. I'll be a special guest at the Steel City Spectacular, August 14th through 17th in Pittsburgh. This CEDH main event will also feature a legacy battle for duels and a vintage battle for a Black Lotus. 15 proxy vintage with a Black Lotus as the main prize. I hope to see you at these amazing Eternal Magic the Gathering events. Let's battle. Okay, welcome to round 1 of our Vintage League here. We're going to start off with technically a keep, so let's do it. Classic Urza Saga. Not Urza Saga, Yawgmoth's Will. Even more uncastable. I need to find 2 more Tezzeret good arts, but because there are just not very many in circulation. But eventually I'll find them. Underground Sea. Mox Pearl. Go. Ancestral Map Cube? No. Alright, well, ooh. Do I think my opponent's going to Bowmaster me? I don't think it matters. I think I just cast it. Stock up, Force, Citadel, Delta. Uh-oh. I think that means my Tezzeret is getting forced. I get this bad art one forced. Alright, so my opponent gets to force my thing and untap with a stock up. I'm a little bit jealous. Hopefully I draw either any mana is fine. Oh, no stock up this time. Sorry, friend. All right, come on. Let me get any kind of mana, please. Okay. That is any kind of mana. So what do you want to do with this? Any kind of mana. Probably cast stock up, right? Like, what are we doing with our Tezzeret? We're getting a Lotus, but we don't actually have a great Yawgmoth at the moment. We can get... Yeah, I think we should just cast a stock up and try to find a force blue card, maybe. Oh, okay. I got Sapphire Opal, Soul Guide Lantern, stock up. So now, next turn, if we Tezzeret and got Lotus and Yawgmoth, we could replay stock up. But that's still not that good. I feel like we're supposed to get... Well, if my opponent stock ups and finds, like, blue card force, then we will want to have the stock up. I think I'm just going to go Sapphire stock up. I'll play a Sapphire out just in case my opponent has, like, a Chalice or something in their deck. All right, so I assume stock up is happening here. All right, everyone's just stocking up. So they have Citadel, an Unknown, and then a stock up pair. We got options. So our Lotus would net us... Well, we'd have a Tezzeret, obviously. And we'd have our Tezzeret pumped up twice by the Lotus. And we would get a free probe and a stock up. Which seems reasonable. All right, one of the cards is a Rainforest. That's good to know. Could be a Flusterstorm or Spell Pierce or something. Ancient Tomb. I feel like that opens up some options here. So now, if we were to go Ancient Tomb, Ruby, Tezzeret, Lotus, Yawgmoth, Lotus, Probe, stock up from the yard. Seems like it'd be pretty good. We could also just go Ancient Tomb, Tezzeret, get a Bauble, which could be pretty good. But it wouldn't let us 2-spell this turn effectively. It would also maybe draw the Force. But if my Tezzeret got forced, then I could just cast stock up. Of course, I could go the other way in which I just cast Stock Up to start and gives us more options. Better into Flusterstorm, better into Spell Pierce. Feel like it makes a lot of sense. I think all of those are not terrible though. All right, we played the Ancient Tomb, so we do not get access to this academy. But what we can do is take Force PO and play Tezzeret. I like that a lot. And if they want to force this, that's so okay for us. I think what I'll do is I'll untap this Monolith to help maybe play around a possible Fluster. I don't see there's any good reason to tutor right now. And then I assume we just win on the next turn. We can always Tezzeret, search up a Vexing Bauble, and resolve a PO, right? Though, of course, yeah, and if I have to use this force, then I can just Tezzeret, get a Lotus, and Yogwill. So I'll stock up. I think stock up is totally fine. I mean, stock up has been... Stock up's a hell of a card. It's a hell of a card. Ancient Tomb was pretty nice there, though, letting us 2-spell. I just don't know which list this is. It's not the Fleshraker PO list because it's got Underground Seas. It could be Displacer Kitten. It could be Blue-Black PO. It could be Esper PO. Could be neither. Could be Hull Breachers. Probe. Okay. 3 unknowns and a Citadel in our opponent's hand. Yeah, stock up basically replaced Dig in all of these like PO decks for sure. Okay, I think, I mean, we could just go Lotus Yogwell. We have double stock up Tez, but I still feel like I like the idea of just getting a Vexing Bauble and casting PO. Currently, if I cast this and it gets Flusterstormed, I think I just play the second tomb in case they have like Force plus Flusterstorm. Wait, no, I have 3 mana, 4 mana, second spell, third spell, 4. Yeah, I think I actually don't need to play this. They have double Fluster. I was never beating double Fluster, so. And if they had Force Fluster here, Force into Bauble to get another spell, I still have 4, so. Cool. Cool. And I can use this map to get a land, Tolarian. They could still have Force. Oh, so right now it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. So it'd be +2 mana. I can Tezzeret for free. Oh, my opponent's just off it. Trying to figure out, like, I don't know exactly the best line here. We did play around Fluster very well. It might just be play Bauble, play Captain, untap Monolith, play map, get map, cast, play map, cast Ancestral, and then I have Ancestral top. Less deterministic than Yogwilling, probably. So maybe the answer is just use my Force pitching Ancestral to beat a force in their hand and go Tezzeret, Lotus, crack Lotus, PO my whole team again. I don't know. Probably doesn't matter very much. Stock Up was definitely the winner of that game. Stock Up did serious work. Tezzeret was totally fine though. Not gonna bring in Karns here. We want to take out. So I don't think we want Needle in this matchup because it's gonna end up needling one of our cards as well, right? Unless we think it's like a good last ditch effort kind of deal. I would assume we would want to take out Needle in this kind of. I wouldn't bring it in. So. And then the question is like, do I want to have Steel Sabotages? I took out the consigns that I had in my first PO board. I felt like there wasn't enough Tezzeret and it wasn't like good enough to have consigns. And I felt the not having the Sabotages versus like a true Null Rod deck was hurting me. So I put the Sabotages back. We're also on the draw. Kind of like just swapping in some negations to curb their power and running it back. We're already pretty geared for this kind of match. Maybe we could take out some lands. We're already pretty low on lands, though. It's like 14 when you count double face cards. All right, we've got another Tezzeret. No blue hand. Oh, wait, there's a Sapphire. Sheesh. Okay, well, this hand slaps. Even without a Sapphire, if this was a Ruby, I would probably still keep this hand, so... My plan here is likely, hopefully they just get Ancestral with that. Play out my Moxen and PO on their turn so I can play with negation up. Let's see if I get Ancestral. I definitely want to have a consign here. I guess they can hit anything. If it's a Spell Pierce, it's like a little rough. But if I lead Jet, I can get my Crypt or my Sapphire trapped. I kind of think they're not going to trap the Sapphire if they do trap. So I think I just go everything out. So the problem with jamming on their upkeep is Hull Breacher. Well, if I'm playing into negation, there's a lot of things. Like, there's just so many things, right? Like, I can play around negation. I can play around consign. I can play around Hull Breacher. It's, like, really hard to play around everything. I can't play around everything. If I get consigned, I guess I have a mental misstep, so that's not the hugest deal. If I get Mindbreak trapped, it's pretty bad. I could have theoretically gone Island, Mana Crypt, Captain, which would have played around Mindbreak trap a little bit, unless they had consign and trap. I could, if the Tezzeret resolves, get a Mana Crypt or Mana Vault, and then play a Mana Vault, and then on their upkeep still PO. Maybe this is a spot where I would get a Needle. Tough choice. I don't know the answer. Like, I think there's a lot of reasonable justifications for each and every choice you could make here. Looks like it's consign. It's Brainstorm. I guess that's fine. Oh, yeah. Tezzeret getting forced is not the end of the world. Tezzeret did not get forced. If Tezzeret didn't get forced, they certainly just don't have a counter, right? So I think we should just play Mana Vault and jam PO. Oh, they have Mental Misstep as their counter. Okay. I think I'm just down to jam then. Well, they could have a counter and then they're like, Tezzeret can resolve because I don't care about Bobble, maybe. But then they'd be down to one card anyways. Okay. I think that game is not particularly easy to play correctly. Like, I think there's a lot of ways you can play it and a lot of ways you'll win, but to play it correctly might not be straightforward. What did they demonic tutor for? Must have been Tinker. Because it clearly wasn't Ancestral or Force. I highly doubt it was Sapphire. I mean, Tinker is superior to Time Vault here, right? I don't think there's like one correct answer on how you should play this turn. Obviously, we had a very powerful turn, but there's a lot of very relevant cards that we can theoretically play around. So I think the thing that makes me the most scared is if I try to play around negation and I play into a hold breacher. That's the thing that scares me the most. Okay, here we go. Round 2. Looks like a Lurrus across the table. So now we get to test out our Karn, maybe. We've got a Lotus and a Tezzeret and I mean, this hand looks good, right? I mean, this is a Tezzeret hand here. So we force through, we go Lotus, and we force through a Tezzeret, and the Tezzeret finds us a Mox, and we play a Time Vault, and we say beat it. Because the Mox and the Time Vault will make our Tezzeret not die to Bowmaster. And there's no reason to play Academy, right? I'd rather play Saga. Yeah, I can't win the game right away because we don't have an additional mana. I guess I'd rather lead on Saga in case they had like a Vigor. Does that make them more or less? I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. This plays around Vigor, so... I guess it doesn't really play around Vigor because I just get my Time Vault destroyed. Whatever. I'm not going to get a Soul Ring, chat. That's the one thing I'm definitely not going to get because that can get Mental Misstepped here. I guess it wouldn't matter if it got Mental Misstepped here. It would matter because I could get Wastelanded and then I'd be off the ability to play Time Vault. Okay, yeah. I'm going to get not a Mana Crypt. I'm going to get a Mox Sapphire. And then I'm going to play a Time Vault. And then I'm going to say, beat my Vault Key combo. And even if they kill the Tezzeret, I'll have a Saga getting a key. If they have Double Force, then I still have a Tezzeret and a Saga, so it's not even that bad. Okay, this was a pretty... I mean, we've opened some Black Lotus hands, obviously, but... So far, we have done the nice open up very little actual lands hands. Don't say things like that, not me. Don't say things like that. I think they're going to concede. I think they're going to scoop it up. That's what I think is going to happen. I think, nope, we can't beat Tezzeret. I won't show you anything other than my cat. Scoop it up. Make sure it's a cat, I guess. Not a bird. I don't know. It's looking pretty good. Umori. I have a video with Umori. Shop's video. I had I think I got Gaia's Cradles in it. Maybe that cast it, or maybe it was not Gaia. It was like Gaia. Maybe it was Gaia's Cradles and the Green Orborg. Maybe it was just Orborg. Either way. All right. We don't know if they're combo or control Lurrus. But I'm going to say they're control Lurrus. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some Karn, Scion of Urza. Do we like keep Needle in for Wasteland here? I actually think there's a justifiable reason with this deck. I wonder if I can take out forces. I don't think I want to take out forces. I do think Lantern is garbage, though. Maybe I'll take out one Opal, one Lantern, bring in some Karns. Oh, I would never bring in Force of Negations for No Rod, Stony Silence. Not a chance in hell. No. I think I'm going to bring in this Portal, though, maybe. Well, I have 4 Sink into Stupors, so I have a pretty reasonable land count. Aggro Lurrus. No, there used to be an Aggro Lurrus. There used to be mono white Lurrus. It was not pretty good. No, it was not very good. I really just like don't want to play forces. I mean, I could take out forces. And I could just play Dismembers. Could also add Strip Mine in. Additional land. I guess you could Needle. I just think that Needle Wasteland is like not actually good. Let's try this. I think they're on Control. Didn't we play them before? I feel like we played them before. I'm boarding like we're playing against Frog. Who would play Lurrus PO, not me? Tezzeret has been dropped. You can't play Lurrus anymore. It's done. It's over. If you're playing PO, you gotta play Tezzeret. Tezzeret's only like 15 tickets now. It's pretty cheap. Uh-oh. It's only fair that they get a Black Lotus after we got a Black Lotus. Double Bowmaster? Bowmaster Frog? Doomsday? Frog, Bowmaster. I guess my probe is pretty bad against this. We could probe them, see if they have a counter, and then just go all in on a PO, right? Show me your secrets. They have a negation and a consign and a cruise. Okay, that's not good. That is not good. I am surprised that they played this way. Am I surprised they played this way? Maybe I'm not surprised they played this way. Maybe we just get Tezzeret countered and then we PO on the next turn here. We get the Tezzeret countered and then we dismember the Frog and then we P. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to dismember the Frog. I want to dismember the Bowmaster and win. So I go Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, play Tezzeret, it gets countered, and I assume it gets countered, right? And then I can dismember if I want. I could just dismember the Frog and try to play through the Bowmaster. I'll be at 11, 8. I don't think I can play through the Bowmaster is the problem. So I think I have to take a Frog hit. But the problem there, I guess, is I get my Monolith gets countered. So I guess I would go Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Monolith, Tezzeret. Tezzeret gets countered. I dismember the Frog. No, I dismember the Bowmaster. I dismember the Frog. I have to dismember the Bowmaster. And play a tapped Sink into Stupor. And then I just go for a PO on the next turn and hope they just don't draw a counterspell off of their Frog hit and draw for turn. This is all assuming that they actually do choose to counter my Tezzeret. I guess they could just counter my Mana Crypt. Then I would go Island, Soul Ring, Monolith, Tezzeret. think I need the monolith in play. So I think I'm going to play the monolith. Play the Tezzeret. Tezzeret gets countered. And then I have to make the choice on what I want to dismember. If I dismember... they pitch Cruise. So they have a consign. So if I dismember the frog, they draw one less card. But if I don't, if I dismember the frog, I take 4, go to 12. I take 3, go to 9. I could go to 6. I could PO for 3. But I'm gonna have to answer this Bowmaster in terms of POing, which seems bad. So instead, I could just hope they miss on their 2 draws. I think that's just better. Because we don't really care too much about the consign. Like, it's going to counter something on the way back down, but I don't think that's a problem. We'll see. I don't know. There's a couple ways to play this, and this is the way that I think makes the most sense to me, but it might not actually be good. We'll see. All right. So I did lose a flip. I am at 6. Portal to Phyrexia. That will be a hard one to resolve. If they do have Spell Pierce, I'll die, but I think I need to keep my land drop open, so I'm just going to die to Spell Pierce. It's fine. They drew Spell Pierce. Okay. Yeah, because if I play my island here, I do lose out on I would lose on my blue mana anyways. Am I dead on board? 1, 2. Yeah, I'm currently dead on board if my opponent pitches their whole hand. Drawing a 1 mana piece of interaction was pretty good. I'm gonna act like I had Chain of Vapor. All right. So let's see what my 3 cards were if we would draw them here. Sink, Tez, Strip Mine. So by holding the land drop, I would have been able to Strip Mine the Underground Sea. And then I would have been able to play a Tez. And then I would have died. Okay. All right, so I do like what we did. I don't know if I want... I feel like forces are just so bad. But they can help us on the play a lot more than... Maybe I just want to have some forces in on the play. On the draw, maybe the dismembers make sense, but on the play, maybe we just want these forces and try to jam through. Could have just been wrong. If I had a force in that hand instead of a dismember, did I have a second blue card? I don't think I did. To protect the PO. Ancient Tomb, Ancient Tomb. I keep drawing the Yawgmoth's Will in every one of my opening hands, not me. It looks so bad. It looks so bad. This hand's just not very good. This hand also has problems, but... I think the answer here is lead Saga. Nah, it's probably just lead Island. Definitely can't mold a 5, though. I got this super fun and cool deck, but I think it's just gonna die to Frog. All right, my opponent has perfect information. They get to choose how to play against me here. They've got a bobble. They can have perfect information. They even know my top card. They know more about my hand and my deck than I do. That hardly seems fair. Yeah, they're like really bad into Lurrus Frog, whereas Lurrus PO is super good into Frog, and it feels awful. It feels so bad to play. That's kind of my big reason why I think it's not better. It's also the main like draw that we got from our latest video. Just like these decks are just it's that bad against Lurrus Frog. My opponent has another Black Lotus draw here. They used the Black Lotus to put Lurrus in hand? Oh, and then they played a Null Rod. Okay, well, at least we have Saga. If we don't get Wastelanded, it's pretty good for us. I mean, I'm forced to make the play, right? They're going to negate it. Pitching Twister. So they have Lurrus and 2 unknowns in their hand? All right, no Volt Key for me. I can't get that back unless I get a Karn. I do have a Karn, actually. If my opponent doesn't have a Wasteland here, I think their play is very silly. Oh, they have a Needle. Okay. Well. They don't have a land, I guess. I think I'm going to hold the... Is there a good reason to hold the Talon Gates? Like, they know about the Talon Gates, they don't know about the island. I don't know. I'm try holding the Talon Gates and just playing the island out. But why would they negate the Lotus and not the Narset? Oh, sorry, they negated the Time Vault, but not the Narset. Karn. I think Karn's an actual threat here. They're gonna have to have another counter for it. I guess the Time Vault means that my Tolarian Academy is turned off, but I can get a Vexing Bobble off of this Saga, right? Now I kind of don't want to in case they have Spell Pierce. I think now I'd rather just... What is the card I would want if I were to get rid of a Null Rod? I took the Needle out. I took the Needle out. Maybe I do want to keep the Needle in for Wasteland, man. I guess so. I guess I do. I don't know. Like, when are you ever searching up a Needle on Wasteland when your Saga's already finished? It feels so stupid. It feels so dumb. Yeah, well, how is this a realistic scenario? Shouldn't this not be happening? I'm gonna get a Soul Ring. I think I'm gonna hold the no, I guess I should activate the Narset first. Okay, that didn't really work the way I hoped it. I was kind of hoping for like a different options here, but that okay. Why not key? I think chat to play my Karn, I need to play my Talon Gates. So why would I get key? I can't play Karn, chat, without play. Oh, I can. I can use Talon. I can use Tolarian Academy because I'm getting a Soul Ring. Okay, all right. I understand now. I see. I understand now. I see. I understand now. That's my bad. I see now. I forgot about the thing getting turned on. It's okay. I don't need a Volt Key to win this game. That's for scrubs. I'm just gonna draw. I'm gonna naturally draw the key, chat. I don't. Wait, no, I don't have Talon Gates. I'm gonna win the game with Planeswalkers. Isn't that more fun? I'm struggling here. I'm gonna find a reason. Trust me. I have a needle. I can needle Wasteland now. Oh, wait, look at that, chat. Boom. Wait, I don't have the key, though. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I'm gonna get that needle on Wasteland. Start getting in for 1. Chat, we have all kinds of things we can tutor for. Okay. Fine. Should I, wait, hold on. I was thinking that maybe I should bounce the Null Rod. What does that let me do? Bouncing the Null Rod lets me... Don't let me do anything, right? I mean, maybe it lets me cast Sphinx. No, I don't have the mana to cast Sphinx. Okay. See, I drew the key, chat. All right. Easy gaming. So I play the key. And then I get the Time Vault. And then I have 4 mana. I have Justin. Should I wait? Should I wait? Because I can get pierced again. Now they concede? I don't understand. So what I was going to do here is play the key, use my Karn to get the Time Vault from exile, play the Time Vault, 4 things, use the Academy to make 4 mana, sink the Null Rod, and win. So that's a weird time to concede. But, yeah. So, yeah, I did. So, like, I saw the line that chat was talking about in terms of turning on the Null Rod and phasing it out with the Talon Gates, but I just thought I had to use the Talon Gates to play the Karn, but I was forgetting the fact that I was tutoring a key meant that my Tolarian was turned on, so then I could cast the Karn. Wait, do I even have enough mana, chat? Did I even have enough mana to do that? I might not have even had enough mana. Maybe with finding the ruby, I had enough mana because it would have been an additional Tolarian Academy mana. No. On this turn right now, I easily have enough mana. But on the turn that chat wanted me to Talon Gates, we can go back and look. Right? Why don't we look? We have the power. Let's go check. Because I can't get the key with not without knowing I have the ruby. Right here. I don't have enough mana. I also can't play the Talon Gates unless you want me to set it up for a different turn, which I think is bad. I don't think I want to set it. I don't think that makes sense. But I'm also not making a lot of mana if I am just getting a Soul Ring that's tapped out anyways, right? So yeah, so I guess so, yeah. We just get a key and we play Academy, and then we use our Narset. Okay, sure. We set it up for a future turn. That's fine. Because on the next turn, we can go for it. Okay, sure. We definitely can't win the game this turn, is what I'm saying. But it does let us set it up for the turn after. And it's not it's not uncounterable because you can technically counter the Time Vaults. Wait, I have to search for the Time Vault on the first turn and then activate it on the second turn. It's probably fine. Why would Talon Gates not work? We use the Karn to animate the Null Rod, and then we Talon Gates it and phase it out. Should work. But I have to use my first turn searching for the Time Vault And then I have to play the Time Vault on the second turn. Okay. I don't even know if that play is like... I'm not 100% sure that that play is actually better. What did we do this turn instead? We just played a Karn and plus. Like, yeah, it's really cool, and it does win the game, but isn't, like, playing Karns and just, like, playing spells winning the game? Not sure. But there's, like, no reason... I mean, the reason not to is if we were worried about top deck Wasteland on Tolarian, but even then, like, would we really be worried about top deck Wasteland on Tolarian? Yeah, I'm not sure, like, if that is the play that you're just supposed to make, regardless. I mean, it's probably fine, right? Because the Soul Ring and the Key do the same thing. But the thing is, the Key, like, pushes you into searching for Time Vault with your Karn when you don't have to be pushed into searching for Time Vault with your Karn. And that's the thing that I'd be, like, the most concerned about. But either way, it's not a huge deal. Zol. Uh-oh. We might be getting bizarred here. His hand's not great. It's really not great. But can I put this hand back? I have a Mox. I don't really think Narset is good against Bazaar. I don't really know why you would say that. If you, like, turn one in Narset, it can be okay versus Bazaar. It is Bazaar. But, like, they put in, like, a bunch of hollow ones and stuff, and the Narset doesn't do anything. Yeah, like, what's the Narset doing here? Actually, I don't think anything's happening here. I think we're just dead here. Our deck is probably not very good against this. I guess I'm supposed to mental misstep this. I don't think it matters. I think I'd rather hold it for, like, a Noxious. So their 7-card keep had the free 6 power, and we don't know how many counter spells they have. Probably need to just play our tap land here. I think that's, like, not useful. Maybe if you don't have the name I'm actually level 1. Maybe I need to play around Mindbreak Trap. I mean, we can technically still win by comboing out, right? So I don't think you're less supposed to concede here. I lost a die roll. Was not great for me. Maybe I need to mold to a harder one. Well, you don't like to play Raker Shops? We can turn Raker Shops into a blue PO deck, Sully. It's fine. We're going to be okay. 2 squeeze? Oh, I forgot to hit record. Crap. Okay. Someone remind me at the end of this to grab it from Twitch. I think that's easier than starting now. You know Raker's, like, good against Lurrus, right? So I don't think that's true at all. That's such a nonsensical statement. Can't put up results. It's clearly already put up multiple top 8s in multiple different decks. Can't put up results. All right, we are dead, though. You don't have to play Workshops. I didn't say play Workshops. I said play Ancient Tombs. Those are different things. Those are very different things. Just do this. Ancient Tomb, Talon Gates, Tezzeret, Glaring Fleshraker, but with good cards. Force of Will, PO, Stock Up, Sync. This deck actually, to me, like, straight up looking at it, looks like an improvement on Raker Shops. I would 100% register this deck over Raker Shops if I ever had to play a tournament, though I wouldn't play Ley Lines in my sideboard. There's no reason to do that when you have Tezzerets. Yeah, that's why you have the blue lands in your deck. Good. Thank you for that, Sully, though. Anyways, we're playing against Countervine, which is basically a deck that has not existed in the metagame for quite some time, but it is very good against this kind of deck. It is actually just extremely good against this kind of deck. What are we going to do about it? Nothing. Die. Certainly not interested in Yogg Willing. Karn is like awful here. I am not going to bring in Steel Sabotage for hollow ones. Maybe I have to bring in these though. Narset on the play. Trying to get rid of all these clunky cards. I kind of hate Mental Misstep. It's just hitting Noxious. It's like just not good enough when I'm not wastelanding them. I think this matchup is probably close to impossible, but we'll give it our best shot, obviously. We don't have a 1-mana. So this is like a thing where I don't actually have a Tormod's Crypt in my deck because I think Tormod's Crypt is pretty bad against this deck. If it was Dredge, then I could get a Tormod's Crypt. So this Tezzeret's not actually very good. If my opponent counters it, I will almost certainly let it happen. Especially with a second Tezzeret. The problem is one activation of Bazaar is probably too much to beat. If they activate Bazaar and they only put like Squeeze in the yard and nothing in play, then maybe we can win with the Tezzeret on the follow-up. But they let it resolve. I mean, I think we just search for a bobble then. It's our best card against them. Actually, yeah, because then this Tezzeret, if it doesn't die, can still untap crit for extra mana, and we can go get Needle. No. We have another Tezzeret. I think what we want to be doing is like forcing Hollow One, and then... Oh, they just have nothing? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap this thing, untap it. And I'm going to play Vexing Bauble. And then I have it force back up. And then I go Tezzeret Needle and win. All right. That was really nice, actually. That was a really sick game. All right. That locks them out of the game. This Bauble is at its best versus this deck for sure. It is absolutely stellar against this deck. Their whole deck is all free magic, all free spells. So if you resolve a Bauble, you instantly win. Yeah. Let's run it back. I really still think that this is going to be pretty much impossible to win a game 3 on the draw, but maybe they'll mold a 0. Their deck is a bizarre deck. Expedition map, Ancient Tomb, Ancestral Recall, Sphinx of the Steel Wind, Urza Saga. This hand is incredibly bad. This hand is at least doing something. My opponent kept 7, obviously. I think they've kept 7 all 3 games. Gonna go down on this. I don't think we can beat a 7-card heap here. Yeah, they kept 3 7s. Average Zol gameplay. No Squeeze, no Hollow Ones. Pitching Revival, Vengevine. Probably I'll counter Magic then. This is at least a threat. I have to figure out the best sequence for this. I think the best sequence for this is Mana Crypt, Island, Tezzeret. I think you have to play around Mindbreak Trap. If this gets countered, then I could go Ancient Tomb, Monolith, pass. I think playing into Mindbreak Trap here is really, really bad. And so, no, I don't think I would ever go for a Needle Line. Look at that, chat. Mindbreak Trap, negation. I guess this does leave me with not many options, but I do still have a PO for 3 next turn. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I feel like this plays around Wasteland, played around Mindbreak Trap. They pitched Chalice, Mindbreak Trap, Bazaar. Okay, they certainly have another counter spell then. They might have Vigor green card, but they pitched double Noxious Vengevine. Time Walk. I was thinking about Ancient Tomb, Monolith, Time Vault, pass, upkeep, PO. Or in response to Vigor. Yeah, that's what I'm playing. That is the card I'm playing around, yes. I think my opponent has Force of Vigor. This is my read. Though the fact that they don't have... They pitched a Mindbreak Trap is a little scary, because then they could have had, like, Vigor plus Trap. I'm going to do this on the upkeep before they draw. They might just have Force blue card. Okay, so they had Force Mindbreak Trap. Nope. I think Time Walk is a worse play because it taps you out of PO and you can get Vigored, and then you don't have anything to PO. I think casting Time Walk there is a mistake. I mean, if you want to, you can just play Time Walk and pass, but like I still think it's a mistake. Yeah, they might have a 4th Mindbreak Trap in their hand. All right, so there's a Squee. There's a Vigor was pitched. I think they had Vigor. Okay, double Bazaar. Maybe they had Bazaar. All right, they're out of action here. They have double Squee, though. So if we can win the game on this turn, we're golden. I think I'd rather have the Time Walk now. I like the way I played this. Though I need to hit like a Tezzeret wins the game on the spot. PO probably wins the game. Mox. Unlucky. All right, I think we set ourselves up to win this game, which is pretty crazy because this game was... My opponent had 4 Mindbreak Traps, double Force, triple Bazaar. So... we are dead now. Opponent's going to look at 7 cards this turn. I had two draws there. They pitched Hollow 1. And they kept 2 cards, which means they found Force. All right, unlucky. Oh, so close. So close. I mean, it's a Justin stream. Of course, we're going to run into Squee. I think we played this game great. We just missed on our draws. We had a 1-turn 2-draw window to end the game. Now we're dead. Someone needs to tell Zolzol to retire this deck. Because I'm sick of losing to it. I always sleeve up these fun combo decks and then I pair into Zolzolzol. I swear. Zolzolzol gets home from a long day at work in Italy, waits for the Justin stream at 11 p.m. and goes, okay, it's time to register some Countervine. Maybe it's a short day at work if it's Italy. I think we drew no action in this game. What did we draw? We drew like Tomb, Mox, Time Vault or something. Even if we took infinite turns, we'd probably lose to our mana crypt. Now we're getting vigored in our upkeep here. Oh, no, not yet. Don't want to vigor the mana crypt when I'm going to die. Wow, that was impressively bad draws. Narset would have been pretty good as the first draw. Probably wins the game on the spot. Actually, I don't think I had double blue at the time, so maybe Narset would have been bad as the first draw. Scratch that. Honestly, we put up a pretty good fight for what I think is by far the worst matchup that we could possibly face. Okay, here we go. Round 4 up against Gusty. If this was a challenge, I would hide my hand, but I guess I just have to play face up this time. I'm going to keep. But if someone does, if they do anything weird, then there's a reason why. All right, I get to see your hand, though. It's only fair. Delta, Time Walk, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, Mox Pearl, Yogwill, Flusterstorm. Jesus. It's so much power, bro. How does he do it? I think we're dead. I think we're dead. No need. Just win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 restricted cards, a land, and a counter spell. It's not bad. And then they can Yogwill and Flashback, Time Walk, and Delta. Two draws as well. They drew Tezzeret off the top. All right, we go next game. I was like, maybe I should Needle Tezzeret, but then I was like, what's the likelihood they're going to draw Tezzeret off the top? All right. Mirror. Negation. Lantern and Needle, I think, out. Needle Delta. I guess we could have Needle Delta, try to buy ourselves time. Yeah, I guess we could have. Yeah, we could have. It's true. I think I had to actually do that. Just because our hand was so bad compared to theirs. Maybe we could have Hail Married. I mean, it still just straight up loses the Tezzeret, right? The Tezzeret just finds a Sapphire or whatever and time walks and super bad. Or, I mean, we're still dead, but yeah, I agree. We should have needled the Delta. I mean, clearly playing Time Vault wasn't doing anything, so. And it's not like there are other needle targets because they're all our targets. Like, one of the big reasons I don't want to needle Tezzeret there in the blind, even though knowing that my opponent doesn't have a Tezzeret, is because I have 4 Tezzerets in my deck. But yeah. I mean, maybe I could have mulliganed my hand to something more powerful, but my hand was like kind of reasonable. We were on the play, it did stuff. It had like decent range with the needle. Oh yeah. Totally right. If I needled there and they played Tezzeret, would I have instant conceded as well? Probably. It's not like Tez instantly wins there. It's just that it's insurmountable. All right, try it again. Yeah, this hand slaps. Wow. I guess it's just Jet, Bobble, Sink, Vault, Tezzeret, untap, because I'll be underneath a Bobble. This hand's unreal. They'll have mental misstep, so it's fine. I guess then we could just Ancestral. I don't think Ancestraling or anything is better. I definitely think playing Bobble is required. If my opponent forces the Bobble, then we can go Lotus if we want, or Sapphire and cast Ancestral. So it's actually kind of crazy for us either way. The one thing here is this Bobble does stop us from like searching for Black Lotus or Sapphire. I mean, they might concede to this depending on their hand. If they have some like reasonable cards, maybe not. It's going to be tough to come back from. Ah, okay. All right. Needle the Tez. Fortunately for them, it doesn't really matter much for us. If they needle the Bobble, I don't think we care either. Sure. Ancient Tomb does not cast Urza here. Is kind of annoying. Certainly a downside of Ancient Tomb, but it does cast Karn the Great Creator. So that's nice. Now what do we want to do? Could get our own needle, but what would we even needle? Nothing. We could get Lantern. Might as well, I guess. Does get rid of this Ancestral from our yard for Yogg-Will later, but it's probably fine. I would consider this not bad, for sure. The minute we find a blue source, too, we have an Urza and the game starts ending. I don't think I want to ever... I guess I could break Bobble because it would... I have the Karn. But... I don't know. I kind of don't want to do that unless I'm... You know, before I resolve all my spells that matter. Expedition map would be pretty good here, right? Get Academy. I don't know what my opponent's plan is exactly. What is like if you're a Tinker PO deck from this spot? What is your plan? If we draw our Talon Gates, we could phase out our Needle. Soul Ring doesn't tap for any mana. So it's just like 3 lands Tinker, but you have a Vexing Bobble, so Citadel doesn't do anything. So you'd have to have a big Tinker target in your deck. I don't think that's even I don't think that's an out. Mental Misstep, not great here. Pio. guess we can just PO back our mana vaults. It's kind of... I guess we can... I don't know if we want to like risk our bobble on the stack. I think I'm just going to cast this Gataxian Probe. Soul Ring doesn't make mana with Karn. So they do have a force in their hand, and they have Narset and Karn. So I can just name Narset with a needle. Then they're gonna cast Stock Up. I did draw a land, actually. The problem is, I think if I PO back my bauble, I mean, I could just PO back my Mana Vault, but if I kind of want to PO back all three, and then I get my bauble forced on the way back down, and it's just like not very good, right? I think I'm just gonna play it tapped. I gotta conserve life total here too. So I think I will get the needle and cast the needle and see if they name the delta. If they don't name the delta, if they don't crack the delta, then I will hit the delta. But now the Tezzeret does nothing, right? With a Karn in play. So I think you just name the Narset. They put the card on top, so that means they are hitting a land. It's kind of unfortunate. And the Tezzeret doesn't do anything because there's a needle in play, obviously. But even if there wasn't, there's a Karn. I have a Narset in my hand, but that's okay. I think I'm not playing the Narset. I'm pretty sure I'm playing the Urza next turn. And then I am not worried about Planeswalkers. Oh, they drew Ancestral. Would I have cracked my... So if I had paid 3 life, I could have Mental Misstepped an Ancestral. Obviously, I can't Mental Misstep with the Bauble in play. Looks like they didn't draw a land anyways. 2 Tezzerets pitched. Talon Gates. So I could phase out this needle and ulti the Tezzeret. Should we do that, chat? It sounds like a lot of fun. I think my opponent might concede to this stupid Urza first, though. I want to phase out this. I want to phase this thing out. So in... I'm so happy we get to do the play that I chose. I forgot. I didn't do the first time. All right, I'll phase this needle out, and then I will ultimate my Tezzeret. And then I will go to combat, and I will stand up my needle. Get in there. And then the Tezzeret needle is back. Oh, okay, that is pretty nice. That was pretty cool. Did we bring in Steel Sabotage? Oh, if these were consigns, I'd bring them in. I don't think I want to bring in Steel Sabotage. Talon Gates is just an awesome card. I agree. I definitely agree. Talon Gates is good fun. This is fine. We'll just reroll like this. All right. It's been a pretty good stream, honestly. Obviously, the Countervine match round was all kind of... Even the Countervine round had a really good game. It had a really like strong performance game and a game where I had to make choices. So it wasn't even that bad content-wise. It was just a shellacking. But overall, I think the rounds have been pretty good. This hand... against Gusty, it might be good because, you know, they have the Ancestral in their hand and they have Tinker on turn 1, so it might actually be good versus them, but I'm going to mulligan it, obviously. Yeah, this hand's fine. Should I just put the bobble away? Probably. Obviously, bobble is like worse on the draw, but in this matchup, you still like want to have bobble control because there's like a PO usually. I don't need to play that, so let's just make sure this comes down before we have a similar start here. Except my opponent's probably gonna fetch a fun land. We can expedition map for Talon Gates if we want. Oh, they're not gonna go for the fun land. Okay. We do know that they have Flusterstorms in their deck. They drew a Sapphire. I mean, we don't have Flusterstorms in our deck, which is a pretty big knock against us, but 4 cards, 2 mana advantage. Stock up. All right, I think casting stock up here would be bad because it plays into Fluster. But then what am I doing? Holding up Sync? That's I think I just have to get out of it. Get it out of their hand. I would just run Flusterstorm to push through your spells. Is this a hard cast Mindbreak Trap? Sure. Think of how much mana they would have got if they used Mana Drain instead. Stock up of their own. 2 cards remaining. I think I just need to kind of hope that they don't have more action. Fair enough. I think this PO has higher upside, is why I kept it over Sync. Because I'm not going to be able to hold up Sync at all. And I don't really want to play it as a land, so... Obviously, this PO doesn't do anything right now, but... Ooh. It's like a stock up. It doesn't get Flusterstormed. Got forced anyways. Pitching Consigned to Memory. Interesting. Gotta get the Tezzeret. All right, they have 1 card left. We have 2 cards left. They have a slight mana, slight Mox advantage. And Karn. Well, it was fun. Average, gusty things. And I drew a Citadel. Average Justin things. All right, well, we did die. These Tinker PO mirrors definitely come down to Karn a lot of the time. It's another good reason to have Consign, I guess. I did have Consigns on my board today, and I cut them for Sabotage because I didn't feel like I needed it, but maybe I could have just kept these as Consigns. The reason is because you really want to be able to bounce Null Rods, but Consign gives you some more coverage against this kind of deck with Tezzerets and Karns and stuff, so maybe that was a mistake. Like, we wanted the Sabotages in one of the other ones, but this time, maybe not. They actually can cast Sphinx here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they're short. So yeah, they're still short, but they do have white and black with on-color Pearl. So they're actually close to casting Sphinx. If they have Lattice, then they can kill me. I don't have Lattice in any of my PO boards. They got a top. It's quite good. I think if this was a land, maybe we'd still have some game here. All right. I'll play it out another turn just for you, chat, but I would normally just concede here. You're basically 0% to win. One more turn for the chatters. Yeah, Tinker PO mirrors, or even just Tinker mirrors without PO, are kind of lame. Oh, they do have Lattice. They just chose to go for Lantern top first. Maybe they got forced back up for their Lattice. Interesting. All right, well, now we're definitely dead, so I can just easily concede. Oh, yeah, we were not drawing out of this. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. Back and forth. Tinka. Okay, here we go. 5th and final round with our newest and brightest Urza creation. We've gotten an Urza into play today, so I'm pretty happy. We've phased out a Needle and ultimated a Tezzeret, so I'm pretty happy. This hand has no mana. We mulligan. This hand has some mana. We can get a mana crypt and play a stock up. Okay. I'm in. Let's get this Otawara out of here. I don't know. So far, the deck has been pretty medium. I just feel like these Tinker decks are so clunky, you know? But the increase in like the Ancient Tombs and the Grim Monoliths and stuff has made it easier for us to play Tez, and it's been less clunky. We did beat Frog, right? I think we beat Frog, so that's something. Black Lotus. Should we play... Let's play Hunky Tezzeret because it's going to resolve. Oh. And then I'm going to get Mana Crypt and play Stock Up. Oh, should I just play Vexing Bauble? Is that better? That's got to be better. Yeah, let's just do a Bauble. Not me is like one second ahead of me. Or behind me. I don't know. It was similar timing. Oh, the one weakness of my one drop. I also probably should not have played Urza Saga. That one is like a little here, a little there. Oh, it was bizarre. We have main deck Graveyard Hate, but we don't have any mana. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If we were to draw a Mox, it'd be pretty good. If we were to draw a Grim Monolith, it'd be good. If we were to draw the Graveyard Hay, it would be good. We've got a Needle, and we've got a Soul Guide Lantern in the main. It's Dredge. That's true. This is actually a big plus of playing Saga on turn 1 there. I'm closer to my Saga completing. Oh. I guess we're losing our Tezzeret. Oh, they're bridged from below Dredge, though. Oh, no. They're bridged from below Dredge. Are they going to get therapy? Oh, they have a Chalice as well. Uh-oh. I think that means we're dead. What a mess. I don't think there's anything we could have really done differently, though. Probably dead on this next turn. Oh, they only have one Dredger in the yard. Maybe they miss. They still get to do Icarid and 2 bridges, though. Just not great. Or 1 bridge, I should say. I will untap your Chalice of the Void. Got him. All right, Dredge 4. It missed. They missed, but they hit another bridge. So that's bad. Not great dredges, though. But we do lose our Tezzeret, and then they make 2 more zombies. I think the only way we win this game is we YOLO Volt Key. I guess that's not true. We can get mana here and play a Tezzeret. They left the Tezzeret. That means we get extra mana, right? All right, hold up. Wait a minute. I'm not ready to concede yet. Fuck. Wait. If we get... No, we can't play that. I've drawn this Citadel so many times. It's crazy. I don't think I'm ever going back to playing Tinker, even though I won a Tinker at Eternal Weekend. Not a foil Tinker, but just a normal Tinker. I can't imagine myself ever registering Tinker PO again. I guess if they got rid of Lurrus, I would maybe have to. But I'm like so sick of drawing my Citadel. So if I get mana off this Tezzeret, I was thinking about getting Soul Ring, but I could go deeper, right? And I could go float a mana, mana vault, 4 mana, untap, 7 mana, play a Tezzeret down to 4 mana, Tezzeret, Tutor, Lotus. I could play this. Oh. I can't play this. Also, I can't play my Lotus because there's a Chalice. All right. I still think I'm supposed to get Soul Ring then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Soul Ring, and then I'm going to use the Soul Ring and make mana with the Tezzeret, and then I'm going to get another Tezzeret and get a Lantern. Wait, is that even better than just getting a Lantern? I definitely can't get a Needle. I have to get a Lantern and get rid of this Icarid. And then they just kill my other Tezzeret. I can, like, draw Ancient Tomb. I don't think that's true, Ritter. It is certainly a thing you can do. But I think the games that involve you brainstorming back Citadel are so few and far between that the games where your brainstorm is a liability against Bowmaster far, far outweigh it. And if I didn't have like a couple of the things restricting me here, I could actually cast the Citadel. Urza Saga and Tezzeret both get you Black Lotus that can cast Citadel generally. So I don't think this deck is like the worst deck at casting Citadel. You probably cast it more often than a normal deck. I'm gonna go get Lantern. I think I'm gonna hold this other Tezzeret in my hand. Oh wait, no, I wanted to get a soul, but if I get a Soul Ring, no, I should probably have gotten a Soul Ring. Yeah, I probably should have gotten a Soul Ring. I do lose my Tezzeret, but I get to keep a Soul Ring after all of it, so I definitely should have done that. Oh, that's I have to Lantern that. Maybe I don't have to Lantern it. I don't know. It's pretty bad no matter what I do here. I think I have to draw Ancestral. Yeah, I definitely should have gotten the Soul Ring. Icarid, and a Dredger. That's not good. They're gonna kill off this Tez anyways. All right, all good things start with Ancestral Recall. It's kind of Ancestral Recall. All right, Turbo Dredge. Let's get the Sphinx and this Tormod script as extra hate, and Strip Mine is extra hate. And then I will take out Karn and Citadel and Mental Misstep. Run it back. All right. Come on, hate. If I had a Citadel in my deck, I might keep this hand. But I have a Sphinx in my deck. Maybe I should have kept the Citadel in. I can't even tinker on turn 1. It might just be a mulligan anyways. Yeah, this is a lot better. I kept 7. I think I just put away the Time Vault. These other cards are better. Yeah, we don't know how exactly they're gonna board Nami. A lot of the time you would take out the stuff, but or you could take out the stuff, I should say. If I get Vigored here, I cry. But I have to play it to avoid grief. So. So if I do Imp Powder. So if I do get griefed here, they take my Tinker, but I still get to stock up. It's not that bad. All right, I do get griefed. If I were to draw Tezzeret, I'd probably play Tezzeret over stock up. PO. I'm just gonna cast stock up. Force, Ancient Tomb, Monolith, Narset, Sink. Kind of like Monolith. I'm like never playing this Narset though. They want to take Monolith Force just to play around one more. I mean, I don't need to play around one more Vigor. Like, they clearly would have Vigored me. No, I think I'm taking Monolith to build for the PO. I think I am still going to take Force. But maybe that's not necessary. Because I'm not going to... I mean... I don't know. Like, I'm not playing the Narset, right? So... And if they have a Vigor now, obviously this is correct. But if they don't, like, if they go on my upkeep again, then I have PO. But I guess if they, yeah. Nothing came back here, so I don't even have to Tormod script yet. Like, I just don't think Force is very good from this spot, but I don't think Narset does anything from this spot. I mean, like, obviously I can crypt them and then play a Narset, but I just don't know. Yeah, but I think you... Ooh, okay. Ancient Tomb? Why do I want an Ancient Tomb? What does that do? Second Bazaar. Ancient Tomb's pretty useless. Wow, that was really good for them. They got to save their Grave Troll and bring it. That's pretty fucking good. I don't think they have any counter magic anyways, but if they did, certainly beats it. I guess they could have Mental Misstep. Yeah, like the Force is a dead card. I think basically every card in there was a dead card besides Grim Monolith. Okay. The good news is they can't cast anything through Bauble, so they just have to return everything. And we have Saga tokens, so... But they do get to dredge through their whole deck right away. I guess they could still sack, though. Uh-oh. This might just be losing, then. Triple Bridge. Chill. 2 Narc Amoebas. 2 chills, 2 amalgams, and a therapy. Okay, I probably have to win the game on the next turn. Two more chills and another amalgam. No Icarids. I got 3 Icarids already. I think we're going to be short on Ancestral being lethal because my opponent will definitely have lethal attackers next turn. We have 2 looks because we can crack our Vexing Bauble, but we have 2 looks for a way to win the game. That's not one of them. I guess I need a whole black mana because of Yogg Wills in my deck, right? Help? Nope. We died. We keep hitting air. If I had Narset here instead of Force, I would at least be able to play Narset. So maybe it was a mistake not picking Narset Monolith. Losing this matchup feels really silly. We have a lot of hate, but maybe we don't have a lot of hate. Maybe maybe we don't actually have a lot of hate. All right. We've been bested. 2-3. Not a great showing. Hey. I don't actually know if that does it. So we lost a mirror and we lost a dredge 0-2. And then we took a 3-game set versus Frog and lost to Countervine in 3. This deck is just so clunky. I do think that some of the things we did today had like merit and were decent. But I just can't imagine ever registering something like this. Unless it's like just a challenge for fun. I wasn't very happy. It's not like we like didn't do things. We played a lot of early spells. We just like still lost a bunch of the time. I am still kind of happy because we did a bunch of cool things. We did like Karn phasing, and we did Urza, and we did Tezzeret Ultimate, and yeah, you can't play artifact lands in Vintage Dash. You absolutely can't play artifact lands in Vintage because there are lots of natural artifact hate in the format, especially things like Collector Oofs and Null Rods in the main. So, and Wastelands, and it's a huge liability, basically. So I would not recommend ever playing artifact lands in Vintage for the most part. And you have all these Moxen anyways, so I don't think a One Ring changes very much, Corey. I think like if you want to do One Ring things, by all means, like do Raker things and Workshop. I think One Ring is like, I really have disliked One Ring, but I guess maybe with Monolith and Tezzeret, it's a little bit easier to cast it than before. I'm like not a huge One Ring fan in general, especially when you're not like you don't have any consistency to it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here. We did not crack any expedition maps, which is sad because that was kind of the thing I wanted to do. I think it's just a different list if you play Raker. That's not really what we're trying to do here, CRK. We also didn't cast any Tinkers. We didn't resolve any Tinker for Citadel. That's true. That is going to prohibit our chances of winning. I don't know. I don't even think... I honestly don't even feel like this is an avenue worth pursuing. Like a full Tezzeret PO deck. I think I'm just off it. I think I don't expect myself to play any more Tezzeret PO. I think I'm just bidding it. Like I might consider playing Tezzerets in a PO deck as like a 1 copy or a 2 copy, but like I think playing Thundertrap Trainers is just better. playing 2-drops instead of 3-drops that are blue. The thing that still interests me is these kind of decks. This is the kind of Tezzeret deck that I think interests me because I feel like it's a noticeable upgrade to a powerful archetype. I think Trainer is just a better card than Tezzeret's in the blue decks. I kind of agree. Just delete a bunch of these things. I think that this is the avenue that people should be pursuing for Tezzeret, or the blue Raker version. That's fine too. I have a hard time believing the blue Raker version is a better blue deck than blue decks, but I have a pretty easy time believing the blue Raker deck is a better Raker deck than Raker decks, if that makes sense. But this kind of all-in combo deck, I feel like, is more interesting. It's has a history of being banned in the format. So this is what I would be looking at if I was someone who was really trying to play Tezzeret. I will do more Tezzeret videos. I don't know exactly what ones, because I have Steel City coming up next weekend. So I do need to play some Lurrus PO into the new meta, because I assume that's what I'll probably play at Steel City, but who knows. I want to make a mono white artifact Oswald version of Tezzeret as a shout out to Chess Knight. I will do that. I don't know if that will be the challenge stream this weekend or if that will be next Wednesday. That might be next Wednesday. So that's a plan. I do think that there's another card that I will make a Wednesday night stream of, and that is the big bug that has Crucible on it. That will be a bad deck, but it will be a fun Wednesday night experience. If there are any other cards from Edge of Eternities that you want to see me play on this channel, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know. Because I was not excited about basically anything other than Tezzeret. And now that Tezzeret is here, and it doesn't seem like it's fitting very well in blue decks, it's more focused on colorless decks. It's less interesting to me. Oh, though there is an Oswald blue deck that one of the Discord members was trying, so maybe we'll try that on Saturday. Until then, more vintage content on this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.